Right, okay. Finale.
Episode
10. Oh, it's sad.
Why is it always 10 episodes? That seems like so little.
Shut up.
Like, I know it's 100 hours, but it's still so little. How dare they?
It's 100 hours. 10 hours. Each episode isn't
Why
10
did I
hours
times
long.
it by 10?
Each episode isn't
I wish
10
it was
hours
100 hours.
Wow.
Leave me alone.
That's staying in there. What happened in the last episode? Darn it.
The Green Council. Alicent had told all of the small council that Viserys' dying wish was for Aegon to become king.
Yeah.
Obviously, Otto, being Otto, loved this. Playing right into it, only to find out that the small council had been planning Aegon's succession long before Viserys' death. That poor guy, I don't even know his name. He was, you know, saying there's no one else that was there, there's no one else that knows. It's convenient that he died, and this was the last thing he said.
Yep.
And Sir Criston, of course, had to be.
The hard case that he is murdered a man who was 67 years old.
An old man, yeah. Also, like, he could have just put his hand on his shoulder and was like, listen, mate, sit down. But no, he had to, like, grab him and, like, bash his head into the table.
Head, I know.
What, like... yeah, anyway. So Sir Harold Westerling basically said, look, there's no king, there's no, like, you're all doing this, you're all saying this crap about Rhaenyra. This is not my place. So he took off his cloak and left like an absolute G. Aegon had left the Red Keep, and it was basically like a scramble to find him. Who was going to find him first, Otto or Alicent? The White Worm was being all weird, you know. It basically helped Otto find Aegon with the promise that they would help stop the... What was it? The children being used for, like, fighting and stuff from Fleabot.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name. And also Eric, then this his brother, found him in the crypt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't...
Also, I know we tend to. I know I spent most of the intro last time talking about how great the casting's been. The guy playing Aemond and also the guy playing Aegon are doing really good jobs.
Yeah.
It's hard to sort of. It might not sound Crispin. It might not sound like I'm being, you know, as yeah, but like literally, there's not a single person who's been cast in this that has been bad. Every single.
Which is interesting because I remember when Matt Smith was first announced as playing just a Targaryen. At the time we didn't even know, and people were like not very happy.
Yeah, they didn't.
To put it nicely.
That's because
people were saying because obviously it was Doctor Who. People were like, he's not going to be able to play a serious Targaryen.
But just before this, he'd also played. He was in Morbius.
Yeah. But he's done an incredible job.
Mm. Someone said to us, it's crazy how he doesn't need to say anything to be menacing. He's got that look down, isn't he?
He
can quite easily just look at someone and you can go, well, you know, I don't want to mess with him.
I feel like that's the case with a lot, like Aemond's like that. The actor playing Aemond's really good. He has a look where you're just like, oh.
I think he's called Ewan Mitchell or something. Is this Dragonstone?
Yeah, it's the table, isn't it? The painting table.
Yep.
I was 4 and 10, same as you are now. I wasn't ready to be Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, but it was my duty. And in time, I came to understand I had to earn my inheritance.
Not like you.
In what way, sweet boy?
Not so perfect.
Oh.
Princess Rhaenys has just arrived on Dragonback. She urgently requests an audience with you and Prince Daemon.
Oh, she won't know about Viserys.
Oh no.
Neither will Daemon. Neither will any of them. Oh no! It's like, guys, you missed it. I burst right out of the dragon pit.
The Princess Rhaenys Targaryen.
I grieve this loss with you, Rhaenyra. My cousin, your father, possessed a kind heart.
I also love how big of a deal it's made of Viserys dying.
There is more. Aegon has been crowned as his successor.
How long ago?
A day passed, perhaps two. I was made a prisoner in my quarters while the Queen made her preparations.
Viserys has been slain.
Alicent demanded you declare for Aegon.
She did. I refused her.
And yet you are alive.
The Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra. And for your children. You should leave Dragonstone at once.
See, that's something in the... Oh, be careful! Oh. I don't know enough about pregnancy. Oh, what? What happened? Oh! What does that mean? Oh. I don't know enough about pregnancy to be worried that if... Oh!
No, though, but look how little she is.
That term is far from complete.
Yeah, she's not far. She's not. Oh no.
It is fucking happening.
Chill.
She's not far enough along.
Oh, this baby gonna die.
So, see, look how small she is. Oh no.
Keep your spirit in the sixth will be different.
Oh, get up.
I can't deal with another birth scene. I've already seen two. Yeah, in the book it does make it seem like they don't know whether Viserys
You might go easier on him
was murdered or not.
so he can learn what you're trying to teach.
Aegon has been crowned king.
What is to be done about it?
Nothing yet.
And where is Daemon?
I don't know. Gone to madness. Gone to plot his war.
Leave Daemon with me.
Jace.
Where?
Jaceres.
Where is the other one? Is it Joffrey?
He's only little though, still, isn't he? They're very close. It's a very different family feel than the Greens.
Yep.
Raven flew in this morning. The sea snake's fever is broken and he has left Evenfall.
Where is he sailing?
That much is unclear, my prince.
Collies is alright.
Sent ravens to our nearest allies.
My mother has decreed no action be taken while she's abed.
Oh,
Good
got some
lad.
stones, boy, I'll give you that.
Good lad.
Good you're here, young prince. You're needed to patrol the skies on Virmax.
Did you hear what I said?
I'm grateful for your long service to the crown. So I'm presenting you with a choice.
Oh.
Caraxes looks like he's got bigger.
They never stop growing, do they? They never stop growing.
Swear anew your oath to Rhaenyra as your queen. To Prince Jaceres as the heir to the Iron Throne. Or, if you support the usurper, speak it now. And you will have a clean and honorable death. But if you choose treachery, if you swear fealty now only to later turn your cloaks,
What's our dragon called again?
Cyrax.
Cyrax.
Cyrax is feeling a pain.
Let us help you.
Cyrax has Caraxes is...
Yeah.
It's because... Ah! Ooh! God. Oh, Christ. Ah! No! I can't do it! Get it done when it's over! I'm genuinely not squeamish, but I hate stuff like this. Is it over?
Jeez. I mean, this show has really done crazy. It's gone crazy with births, like.
I know.
Oh, I tell you what.
It's not doing the Hollywood thing, is it? Where it's like, oh, come on, push. Oh, it's out. It's like the women have gone through the wars in these. And they haven't even fought a war yet. Literally, the wars they fought have been childbirth. People might think I was overreacting there, but I genuinely, I can't stomach that kind of thing. And people might say it's the miracle of childbirth, and you know, it's natural and stuff, but I can't do it. He's lost his brother and a child.
In the space of like 2 days or something.
Yeah. So is she, to be fair. She's lost a father and a child. Fair play.
I swear to ward the Queen with all my strength and give my blood for hers.
Fair play, boyo. Fair.
I shall take no wife.
I wonder if the point here was to imply that she was like being sort of battered down and broken and stuff, but in fact she's been shown that she has support. It's not like the entirety of the country's with Aegon here.
I think that's Sir Eric, and I think that was the one that was supposed to be, that was sworn to Aegon, wasn't it?
Right, the one that helped Rhaenys.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he would have known what he was really like, so
yeah,
makes sense he would want to side with Rhaenyra. I mean, this is kind of like after she'd just given birth to Joffrey and she was walking around like now else. She's an absolute G. The poor lass has been through so much.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. She's a strong character, right? And she hasn't spent the entire show saying how terrible all the men are. Good for her.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Oh,
I like that.
Oh, I want one. At some point in my life, I will have one of those.
Thank you, Rhaenyra. Come.
It's so weird, wouldn't it? She's been preparing for this like her whole life. And now it's here, she'd be like, what do I do?
This isn't the coronation she was hoping for, I'm sure.
Nope.
Both, and with House Stark, the North will follow.
Lord Boros Baratheon will need to be reminded of his father's promises.
Lord Boros Baratheon. That name sounds very familiar to me.
So it wasn't Boros Baratheon who actually declared for Rhaenyra as his dad.
What news from Driftmark?
Pray forgive my bluntness, Your Grace, but talk of men is moot. Your cause owns a power that has not been seen in this world since the days of old Valyria. Dragons.
Dragons, yep.
And we have Cyrax, Caraxes, and Melees. Your sons have Virmax, Arax, and Tyraxes. Baela has Moondancer.
Daemon, none of our dragons have been to war.
There are also
So Rhaenyra's still not got a dragon?
Seasmoke still resides on Driftmark. Vermithor and Silverwing dwell on the Dragon Mountain.
Vermithor.
Still riderless.
Oh.
Then there are the three wild
Oh, I
dragons,
know
all between
that name.
That's Jaehaerys'
I
dragon.
know that name.
Dragonstone has 13 to their 4.
Seems to be taken over.
Yeah.
Daemon.
No.
He's, I hate to say it, but he's only king consort. Rhaenyra is the queen.
Yeah.
He needs to remember that Rhaenyra is the queen, not him as the king. Fair enough, she can listen to him and he can give advice, but he can't just decide for her.
This episode has recent evidence in it. Is this... Oh.
Oh.
Here we are again, boys.
Where is the princess?
It's... Oh.
You mean...
Queen.
Where is the queen?
Cyrex looks a lot bigger.
They never stop growing, dragons.
But yes, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I'm just reminding you.
In a period of time, it's impressive.
Do you remember this? Do you remember this? Remember the last time you came here? She came to defend you. Now who will save you from her?
Princess Rhaenyra.
I'm Queen Rhaenyra now. And you all are traitors to the realm.
King Aemond Targaryen, second of his name, in his wisdom and desire for peace, is offering terms. Finally, the king in his good grace will pardon any knight or lord who conspired against his ascent.
I would rather feed my sons to the dragons than have them carry shields and caps.
Oh.
For your drunken usurper cunt of a king.
Aemond Targaryen sits the Iron Throne.
Stark, Tully, and Baratheon all swore to me. When King Viserys named me his heir.
Stale oaths will not put you on the Iron Throne, Princess. The succession changed the day your father slept.
Oh no.
I only regret that you and he were the last to see the truth of it.
You are no more hand than Aegon is king. Fucking traitor.
Sir Eric, bring me Lord Hightower so I may take the pleasure myself.
No. King's Landing will have my answer on the morrow.
Huh?
Surely she can't actually consider it. She must just be trying to give them more time. I like the fact that...
I think I know what...
It's no easy thing for a man to be a dragon slayer.
I do not wish to rule over a kingdom of ash and bone.
Well...
Are you considering the High Tower's terms, Your Grace?
Ensuring peace and unity, or that I sit the Iron Throne no matter the cost.
Is your father talking?
My father's dead.
Oh.
To defend the realm, not cast it headlong into war.
But the enemy have declared war. What are you going to do about it?
friction.
It's probably the friction between them two that makes sure they don't win. Sorry if I just spoiled it for everyone. I think Rhaenys might see something of herself in Rhaenyra. She's the queen that she never got to be.
The coming war against the darkness in the north, the conqueror's dream. Viserys shared it with me when he named to meet her.
Oh.
My brother was a slave to his omens and portents. Anything to make his feckless reign did have purpose. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did.
Oh. Wow.
Well, we've already lost the war, haven't they?
It almost seems like Viserys never intended for Daemon to be a king, was it?
No.
Didn't even bother telling them about this. Oh, there he is.
When I most needed you. Both our children stolen from us. I needed you. Baelor and Rhaenyra needed you, and you abandoned us for more adventure at sea. As has always been your way.
Oh, at least he still lives.
I know it seemed like you just prepared for him to die.
We shall declare for no one. We will retire to high tide to be content with our grandchildren.
Jace, Luke, and Joff are claimants to the throne. Those boys will not be safe so long as Aegon is king.
I'm pretty...
Rhaenyra was complicit in our son's death.
Rhaenyra is the only one who's demonstrated restraint.
I like the fact that she included Jacaerys, Viserys and Joffrey into it. Even though they know they weren't Rhaenyra's children, they still treat them as they were.
The Lord of the Tides, Lord Corlys Velaryon, and his wife, the Princess Rhaenys Targaryen.
Oh. He's got a cane.
Well, we would also hope to have the support of houses Arryn, Baratheon and Stark.
Hope is the fool's ally.
Both Arryn and Baratheon share blood with my house, but all of them swore oaths to me.
As did House Hightower, if I remember.
As did you, Lord Corlys.
Oh, everything's so tense. Oh.
Oh no.
This Hightower treason cannot stand. You have the full support of our fleet and house.
Oh.
Your Grace.
Oh, I like it.
If war's first stroke is to fall, it will not be by my hand.
You do not mean to act.
Taking caution does not mean standing fast.
Yeah,
I wish to know who my allies are.
I think I know what starts the war.
Before I send them to war.
Do you know what it is?
Wow.
The Triarchy have been routed. The Narrow Sea is ours.
Oh.
If we further seal the gullet, we can cut off all seaborne travel and trade to King's Landing.
I should take Meleys and patrol the gullet myself.
Yay, yay.
Dragons can fly faster than ravens.
Oh no!
And more convincing.
I'm not prepared. I'm not.
Send us.
Oh no.
Do you know which one it is?
I know which one. Oh no. Oh no, the sweet little angel. Oh,
the one that doesn't want it.
Oh no.
Prince Lucerys will fly south to Storm's End and treat with Lord Boros Baratheon.
Oh no.
We must remind these lords of the oaths they swore. And the cost of breaking them.
Fire and blood.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Good luck. Oh no.
I think Storm's End is so close to King's Landing.
Oh no.
I mean, look how small it is.
Yeah. Do you know
Look how small he is.
Do you know,
It's not funny. It's not funny. Stop laughing.
Do you know what dragon it is that's coming from?
Yes, I know what dragon it is. That's why I'm saying he's so small.
Oh dear. No.
Oh, the little
dear.
angel. He's
Look,
only
it's
just,
tiny.
He's only just able to ride him.
It's tiny. Who's he singing to?
What is he planning to do?
That is it. It's either Vermithor or it's the cannibal, and I'm assuming
It's not going to be the cannibal.
well, why is it? Why is it more likely to be the cannibal than it is?
Because the cannibal.
You know, Vermithor is the third biggest dragon.
I know, but I always imagine the cannibal wouldn't let anyone approach it. An untamable wild dragon.
Vermithor is the second biggest dragon in Westeros at the minute.
Oh no, I thought it was Vermithor.
Huh?
That's who I thought it was.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you would go to it though. Like, what's he planning on doing?
It needs to tame it, doesn't it? Hasn't had a rider since.
Yeah, but he can't bond with it.
Oh, what a shot! You would soil yourself, wouldn't you? I would anyway.
Come on, kid.
I was very courteous.
Why would? Okay, you see Vhaegar, you see the monster. Why would you continue to go in when you know who's in there?
Got a job to do.
Son of Princess
Rhaenyra Targaryen.
Queen Rhaenyra.
Dude, Queen.
Loboros. I brought you a message from my mother. The Queen.
Yet earlier this day, I received an envoy from the king. Where's the bloody maester?
Are you gonna open it?
Keep your hand off that sword, Sunshine.
You've been practicing, but you're not quite that level yet, kid. Come on.
Boy.
Hey.
My lord. I'm not free to marry. I'm already betrothed.
So you come with empty hands. Go home, pup. And tell your mother that the Lord of Storm's End is not some dog that she can whistle up at need to set against her foes.
Wait! My lord strong.
Oh, don't.
Stop!
Don't do it, boyo.
Did you really think that you could just fly about the realm, trying to steal my brother's throne at no cost? I want you to put out your eye. It's payment for mine.
Sapphire in his eye.
One will serve.
Wasn't he the one that said, you know, don't alarm me whether I might have lost an eye but I'm going to the dragon, all that crack?
Yeah.
Plan to make a gift of it to my mother.
Oh, it's all stormy as well. I know it's called Storm's End, but come on, dude.
There's a reason it's called Storm's End, yeah.
Come on.
And it's gone.
Come on. Oh, God. Focus. Thing is, it's their emotions, isn't it? The dragons can feel their emotions.
Oh, that was a scary bloody shot.
No. It's doing well to show you the size comparison, isn't it?
Mm. It's just trying to scare you, boy. Oh my word.
No.
Thing is, he's not attacking him. That's.
I know he's not attacking him, but he's scaring him. And if he's, I feel like he's gonna end up. Oh no.
No, he's.
It's if dragons feel like he can feel his emotions. If he scares him so much, a dragon's just gonna do something.
What he's gonna do is he's gonna force Lucerys to attack him, isn't he? And then it'll be that.
He'll have a reason to.
It'll be the blacks that started the war, not the greens.
Come on, Lucerys. He's got a smaller dragon, so surely he's faster, right? Right.
Wishful thinking. So Vhaegar's not even serving him.
That's what I mean. It's the emotions.
Oh. At least he's clear of the storm. Oh! Well, good job, you one-eyed idiot.
Oh, you stupid boy. Oh.
Daemon's gonna tell her, isn't he? Because it's him
Well, that's
that.
it now.
What Daemon promises I says a son for a son.
I know.
That Baratheon traitor.
A father and 2 children in the space of a few days. She ain't playing around anymore, kids.
Oh, fancy that. A good reason told over a few episodes for a character going crazy. Not just made up on the spot.
God.
That's right. I said what I said. Daenerys' story was terrible at the end of season 8.
See,
And Aemond Kinslayer. She's born.
Kinslayer, yeah. Thing is, I remember in the book, like, Aemond, and it made it seem like Aemond was like, he was gloating about it, wasn't he? He was like, oh yeah, like.
I remember the
I know they're not written in first person perspective, so it's written through like a maester.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be 100% accurate to what actually happened, or at least to what George R. R. Martin envisioned.
And it's also fictional history.
And it's also fictional history. I know that. I'm saying it's, you know, it makes sense, but it's like I was saying though, it's like this show has done so well. It's made a point of the connection between dragons and dragon riders, and that they can feel their emotions, can't they?
Yeah.
Like you saw with Cyrax when Rhaenyra was giving birth. She could like almost feel her. She could feel her pain. She was also in pain.
Mm-hmm.
Caraxes, every time Daemon got angry, would always come and defend him. It's like he was telling him, you know, calm down, focus, but he wasn't. And maybe him and Aemon were just too young to realise that you can't play around with that. Yeah. Aemon was scaring him, so of course his dragon Arax was gonna retaliate. It's not in a dragon's nature to just run away.
And then of course Vhaegar being Vhaegar was gonna
Vhaegar, like a dragon that's only ever known war and destruction. Of course Vhaegar was just not gonna let that slide. A little midget dragon like that. Like what was he expecting? What was Aemon expecting was gonna happen?
I know.
It's like if both dragons felt threatened by each one, of course they were going to retaliate. Oh, people lose Sarah. People Luke. He was just so sweet, wasn't he? No. That's it now, isn't it? Rhaenyra's just going to go off.
Yeah.
Not going to give a single crap.
It's interesting that in the same episode it paid sort of homage to Game of Thrones by saying she doesn't want to be Queen of Ash and Bone.
Yeah.
And then in the same episode, she also essentially did better what Game of Thrones couldn't do with Daenerys, which was show well, we don't know that she has gone crazy.
I don't think she's gone crazy, but she definitely becomes a lot more.
She's ready for war now. She's not bothered about not fighting.
Because before it was like, well, let's get the allies. Let's be smart. Let's wait for them to do something. But now it's like, okay, they've murdered her son.
Yeah.
She's not going to hold back.
No.
She's in this for vengeance.
Yeah.
I do like Rhaenyra's arc in this. It's interesting though, her relationship between her and Daemon.
Yeah.
And how that's going to progress.
I think
because they still seem like they love each other, but Daemon's outburst on her makes it seem like he's. I mean, he's always unpredictable, isn't he? That's like him as a character, but
yeah, that's Daemon down to T, is it? Because I think probably everyone assumed coming into this that Daemon's just the sort of the roguish prince who does what he wants, but because he loves Rhaenyra, he would never hurt her and all that. Daemon isn't as simple as that.
See, I mean, he had his first wife killed. He didn't really overtly seem to mourn his second wife.
Yeah, he's not like. Yeah. In terms of like the way he's spoken about in the book and in books and in the World of Ice and Fire and stuff, it always says to some he was like this brilliant prince who, fought the correct war, but also that he's also, completely reckless and selfish and.
I saw it was something that was like Targaryens are either like great or they're terrible, but Daemon was seen as both or something like that.
Yeah, there's a reason he's George Martin's favourite Targaryen.
Oh,
in a history full of very interesting characters.
I mean, George Martin, what a man. He thought of this. This is his world, and we're just.
Oh, half what a man. Finish Winds of Winter. Finish it. Stop writing side books. I don't need another copy. I don't need volume 2 of 5. I need Winds of Winter. Okay? You were saying?
I knew it was coming as well.
Yeah, I know. But I also know what's coming from most of the rest of the characters.
Yeah. I know what comes from this, and it's going to be sad. With Helena.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's not even just Helena, it's all of them.
It's the issue, it's the thing that I feel like it's going to be really hard about this. It's not just the dragons dying, but it's the fact that children get dragged into this. And that's the thing, isn't it? That's the kind of the thing this whole series has done, is like, you know, Otto was using his daughter, you know, Rhaenyra at like such a young age was told she was going to be queen and have to do all this stuff, and then they have children, and it's like they're forcing their children at these ideals, and you know, and it's like
there's no escaping it really, is it?
No. The poor children.
That happens. That's it?
In saying that though, one hell of a series.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
I do as well.
I like it.
Yeah. It shows you that when George Martin is actively involved,
yeah,
it's better.
Yeah.
You know, and you get...
The thing is though, I don't hate the changes, because these changes aren't so drastic to the point where it's not the same story. It's like, because it's like you said, it's like the book was written from an outside perspective. So seeing the actual perspective of the characters of this time are going to be slightly different.
Yeah.
If that was like the intention that you had behind that book.
Yeah.
Of it being like a history book, you know.
Well, that's what's really great about this show, is that it could have done what you said, which was to start from Aegon the Conqueror and basically just tell the entire history of the Targaryens. And it's like, but to do that, they would have to skip out quite a lot of stuff. Otherwise, there would be like 100 seasons non-stop.
Yeah.
And
that was just wishful thinking on my part.
Yeah, but because in the book, because it goes quite quickly through the histories, only making note of big things that happens, you don't actively get attached to the characters, because it is essentially like reading a history book. I know I read a lot of history books, but it would basically be me going, oh, Henry VII, bless him, you know, his wife died.
Yeah.
In reality, I don't care, because, you know, as interesting as it is, I don't care about the character. What this show is doing is that it's taking the small chunk of that history and it's making you care about each of the characters, or each of the characters that you can care about.
Yeah.
Nobody likes Otto Hightower.
Or Laris.
Or Laris, no.
Bad.
Yeah, no. Ugh, what a weird show.
I mean, it was already weird, and then they had to chuck that in there, didn't they?
No.
God. I'll never look at Alicent in the same way again. She was saying all kinds of stuff about Rhaenyra. I mean, I feel like that's a little worse.
I know.
That's a whole different ballpark there, sweetheart.
I know. Foot fetish. Ugh.
She's essentially selling feet pics, wasn't she?
Yeah. There hasn't been anything bad that I can think of in this show. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to be constructive. And trying to be like objective about, you know. But this genuinely feels. I would put this right in. I would say season 4 Game of Thrones, season 1 Game of Thrones, then this. I would say this is better than quite a big chunk of what Game. Obviously, the obvious ones that we know.
It's the thing is, though, as a testament to the show, is that in reality, when you think about it, in comparison to what Game of Thrones ended up being, there's not been any crazy battles like we were saying. That was probably the biggest. That was. Could you even consider that a dragon fight?
No.
A dragon slaughter, more like.
Yeah.
That's probably like the most like of a dragon fight that we've seen so far. You know, it has just purely been about politics, about getting to this point, about getting to the start of the war, what leads to it, each character's motivations and purposes, and.
This is essentially the prologue, isn't it? That's what it is. It's like if the next 4 seasons are going to be
the actual fighting,
the battle.
Well, I don't know if they'll go maybe a bit after, because one of the people, I don't know if it was a producer or a showrunner or whoever, it basically said that just because it's about the Dance of the Dragons doesn't mean it couldn't go a little after. So it could even run a bit after, like say like the Fallout, you know.
Yeah. They've probably learned. Again, they've probably learned from Game of Thrones. Remember how, like, in Game of Thrones, ultimately the ending happened.
And you didn't know any like of the ramifications or long term.
Yeah, it was like Daenerys died. You know, she essentially declared war on the rest of the world. She died. The Iron Throne was destroyed. A new king was thingy. Jon Snow travelled north, she travelled west, she became thing in the north. It was like, what's happening? It all took place in the space of about 5 minutes, when in reality it should have been like a whole season.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm quite happy for them just to take their time with this show.
I would not complain about having Game of Thrones. I'm not going to complain about having multiple seasons of Game of Thrones again. I like it. I'm excited for season 2, no matter how long it's going to take. It'll probably be a while, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably going to be like the very back end of next year, if not longer.
I feel like, well, maybe longer. I don't even know.
Yeah. And it is awful, and I might do a video where I show how smart I am. It's actually crazy how different I feel about this show than I did about at the end of Rings of Power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you can actively see what Amazon was trying to create with Rings of Power, and it was essentially this.
I feel like, though, with this, though, it's like there's a clear. It ended, and as sad and horrible as it was the right ending because it was the beginning of the war. So we know the next season is just going to be the war started. You know, crap's hit the fan.
Yeah.
It's just going to be go, go, go. I feel like this was like building up, but it was a bit different for Rings of Power.
It's crazy when you think about it, because although you might have had people who've read the history books or read the books and where certain characters have been named, people like, you know, Daemon have been named in the Song of Ice and Fire book series. Rings of Power actually had established characters already. Some of the characters that we're using were established characters. People like Elrond, Galadriel. You know, they're characters that are known. Therefore, you have an advantage because people already know who these characters are. They know, you know, their motivations and all this, that, and all you've got to do is just add to their sort of lore, if you will. With these had to start fresh with new characters that hadn't been seen before in Game of Thrones. Always. But they've done it. I think they've done it in the first episode. You cared about every character. I liked every character in the first episode. If there was any doubts about Matt Smith playing a Targaryen, they were gone instantly.
It's done one hell of a job, like.
Yeah. I think he's probably going to have the coolest.
Just not even ready. Not even ready. Also, what happened with Sea Smoke? Rhaenyra's dragon. Just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yep. Vermithor, we saw Vermithor as well, yeah.
I assume that's a Vermithor, yeah.
Well,
I was wondering if I was just thinking about it, if the woman that we saw at first in episode 9, which was the one that was talking to the two Kingsguard brothers about the White Worm. I was wondering if she was gonna be Nettles.
Maybe.
When I first saw her, I was like, ooh.
Maybe, yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe. I don't know.
There'll be a lot of people who don't know who that is.
Sorry. Anyway, I'm not sorry if you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Find out who it is.
We're not.
She's cool.
We're not telling you who Nettles is, but she's a very big
cool.
part of the story. But Vermithor, we still haven't met the person who's going to ride Vermithor.
No. Rhaenys doesn't have a dragon yet, does she? Didn't make it seem like she had a dragon yet.
Rhaenys.
Rhaenyra.
You said Rhaenys?
I said Rhaenyra.
You absolutely did it. Like, genuinely, you absolutely did not this time. You genuinely didn't.
I said Rhaenyra. It made it seem like Rhaenyra doesn't have a dragon yet.
No.
So it's going to be curious.
Because she was going to ride Vhaegar, wasn't she?
She was hoping to, yeah. But it's interesting, because...
It hasn't introduced you to the person who rides Vermithor yet.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which dragon she ends up riding. If she even rides a dragon. Maybe she just gets one of the... Maybe she'll get one of the new eggs. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bless her. I would be depressed, like, if all my family had dragons and I didn't.
Yeah. If I was riding around on a dragon that befits my taste, like Balerion or something like that.
I knew that was coming. You got
and Nicole was riding around on a dragon that befits her, like, sheep stealer or something like that, you know.
Don't diss sheep stealer.
Yeah, you'd be a bit miffed. Yeah, wouldn't you? I think if you were a Targaryen, you would probably be
don't even know. I'd
Probably be Aemond. He'd be the weird one. Yeah.
at least get Vhaegar.
Okay. Who would I be? What Targaryen would I be?
Probably like Aegon or something. A little
Conqueror,
weasel.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
the
like the
Conqueror.
little weasel, the second one. That
The
one.
second one? Not likely. I'm trying to think. I would probably be...
There's no answer that you could give that wouldn't be egotistical, is there?
No.
Like Rhaenyra or something.
Merely's the monstrous. Not technically a Targaryen, but he's related to them. You know, the one that's got like a minging shoulder and he's massive, and Barristan Selmy.
because
Barristan Selmy kills him.
because you're...
Yeah, that was us reacting to the finale of House of the Dragon. Let us know what you think down in the comments. What characters have not been introduced yet that you are looking forward to? Do you think there'll be any changes in the later series to the story? Do you think there'll be characters that they do miss out in order to change it for something else? Let us know. Like the video, subscribe, ding the bell to be notified when we upload. We upload every day, and we are back uploading now. Anything else you want to say? Valar Morghulis.
Valar Dohaeris.
Evidently, not all dragons must serve. Otherwise, they wouldn't
No,
be.
it was the emotion, I'm telling you.
Or they wouldn't.
I will die on this hill.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but evidently not all dragons must serve, because the bloody thing chowed on that little midget one. It did. Oh, that was awesome as well. As scary as that was, genuine, it really did a good job of selling just how big Vhaegar is there.
But me, in comparison to that,
like first, like the shots.
It's curious that
there was that one in Storm's End where
Yeah.
he landed and he looked and sort of the lightning hit and you could just see the outline of it. But then there was one where he was just flying and it was like above him.
Yeah.
And it flew and you went, oh my word! I genuinely.
So I am curious to know, in comparison to the likes of like Drogon from Game of Thrones, you know,
Not even close.
because they seem to, in my opinion, always change in the size. Do you not think? One episode they were massive, one episode they seem a bit smaller, then they seem like they were massive, and
They're not even close.
but they should only be really young dragons, shouldn't they?
Yeah,
They shouldn't be that. They shouldn't be as big as what they were making them out to be in the show.
They'd probably be tiny compared to like the likes of him, the likes of Arax. They'd be
Like the
tiny.
likes of- do you think?
There's like
I have wondered because
at the
more
most
you think about it, there should only be a few. They shouldn't be that old, and they shouldn't be as big as what sometimes it made it seem like they were.
at the most in Game of Thrones, generally it's about a year between each book, between each season.
Right.
Which means at most the dragons are about 8 in the final season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so they shouldn't.
Bearing in mind Vhaegar's about 100 and something odd there.
Yeah.
Like Drogon would be nowhere near
It's like-
the
it's
size
just
of
like- 'cause
Vhaegar.
I remember there was like one season where it was all in the same season where it was like during that bit where you saw Drogon flying over the top of the Dothraki and he looked massive.
Yeah.
And then it was like, but then it's like, he looked small at other points, and I was like, well, how big is he?
He didn't look that big in the throne room when he burned down Throne.
No, but he looked big. I don't know. I can't explain it very well, but the sizes always seem to change.
There was inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
there was
like,
inconsistencies in the final season
like-
of Game of Thrones, was there? Oh,
when.
I don't think anyone noticed.
Yeah. Like sometimes, like even like Drogon and Rhaegar, they seem to grow considerably compared to like when they got out of like the little, I guess their own dragon pit that they were in. They were tiny, and then all of a sudden they were massive, and Jon was able to ride Rhaegar.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be doing that this so.
No.
In this series.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They've got in a show that's based on a Targaryen civil war, which sees, within a few years, you see the most dragons there are at one point in the history, to essentially the death of all of the dragons.
Yeah.
You need to get the dragons absolutely right. You can't knack up the dragons.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as important as getting good characters.
Like you would think that they would have each episode compare, like, they would like consider how much bigger they're gonna get. They would have like a scale of like Matt Smith, and they're like, okay, Caraxes over the course of these episodes is gonna get this much bigger.
Yeah.
Like you'd think, like they'd have to be really like. It's just a little thing that I didn't like. Like I felt like maybe Cyrax was a little smaller than I imagined she would be at this point. I think she looked bigger, definitely.
Cyrax. Oh, Caraxes.
Rhaenyra's dragon.
Yeah, it's because I've got the X's.
Yeah.
We've all got X's and V's.
It's like Cyrax definitely was bigger than what she was the last time we saw her, but I don't know why, but after Caraxes seemed to get so much bigger, I imagined
I don't think
Cyrax.
Caraxes got that big. How much bigger?
He looked a lot bigger.
He looked big,
next
but
to,
he was...
next to Daemon, he looked massive, like his head.
He was always big.
He was big, but he seemed to be a lot bigger.
The thing with Caraxes is it looks different to all the other dragons. And I think they've obviously done that on purpose so that you know which one Matt Smith's dragon is, Daemon's dragon, because his neck is like,
yeah.
I would describe it as he's a lot closer to a Lord of the Rings style dragon than a dragon in this.
Well, they've said, haven't they? The showrunner said that there's 3 species of dragon. I presume Vhaegar is a separate one.
Yeah.
There's obviously the one that came from. I assume the 3 that came from the Conquerors, wasn't it? Like Balerion, Caraxes, and Vhaegar.
Yeah.
I assume they're like the breeds. So.
I say, I haven't disliked any of the dragon designs.
I don't know if there's now a dragon that I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Well,
I was really looking forward to see Vhaegar and Vermithor.
Yeah.
They were probably my favourite too.
Well, they're the 2 biggest.
And the cannibal. I really want to see the cannibal.
Yeah.
Like an all black.
It's such a strange thing with the cannibal though, because it's a topic of debate. A lot of people think that he's bigger than what Balerion would have been. A lot of people don't think that he's bigger than what Balerion, because because also people don't know how old he is, because if
There's some people that think he's older than Balerion, like he was on Dragonstone before they got there.
Yeah, which is strange then, because it's
how did he get
how
there?
could Balerion have died of old age? Because Balerion's the first dragon that
that's what they put it to, wasn't it? Of old age.
That essentially dies of old age, yeah. And it's like people think the cannibal's still alive in Game of Thrones times. And it's like,
well, that was a theory. A theory people had was that the cannibal had left and had a bunch of eggs, so that there would be conveniently more eggs.
But
so
there was
would
also
be more dragons. I think that's what everyone was hoping for. There'd be more dragons.
People also think that because he eats dragons, that's what makes him live longer.
Yeah, he eats like the eggs and stuff and carcasses and stuff, doesn't he? Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see, because I think at this point I don't think they're ever going to make a series about Aegon the Conqueror. I really don't.
It'd be difficult. They would have to, it's one of those things where they couldn't get it wrong.
But they've built up this mystique about Balerion. Almost, it's probably more Balerion than it is Aegon. Aegon's your bog standard conqueror, but it's Balerion that makes pretty much everything that Aegon does possible.
But, yeah.
So it's like they would have to get not even just the design of him. He would have to look so brilliant that every scene he was in, you would just sit there and go.
Have to look so menacing that you could imagine, like, because they would just land and people just bent the knee just because there was a dragon in front of them.
Well, that shot where in Storm's End we saw it, that made me sort of shut up and pay attention.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Like you saw a dragon that size, it would.
Yeah. Yeah, it's done a brilliant job.
And
once more, just so everyone in the back can hear us, there hasn't been a single bad casting on this show. Literally, everyone's fantastic. If there's even the smallest chance, right, that anyone involved in this show sees our reactions, right, genuinely, the casting person and every person who's been involved, and all the makeup people, all the VFX, the show's been bloody brilliant, isn't it? It feels, it genuinely, it makes me happy to be a Game of Thrones fan again. Now we just need rid of seasons 6 to 8.
Yeah, well, everyone thinks that's what this Jon Snow series is going to do, isn't it? Just essentially rewrite the ending of the show.
Just do this again.
Just give us more of this.
The music as well. The music's been non-stop banging after. I'm going to download the entire. I'm going to see if I can download it. You know what I could do with music?
Yeah.
Like the music when Viserys walked in, the music when when Aegon was being crowned, when Meleys broke through the dragon pit, the sad music that was playing when Rhaenyra's child was on the pyre. It's like, it's... Mind you, the sound design need to chill out a little bit. I don't quite like the birthing sounds.
It's the trend, you know, Sean. It's like that's. It's
I get
probably,
the point.
To be honest, I'm trying to think of a more realistic.
My thing, no, I'm not saying it's not realistic.
Things. I know, but it's like it would be gross, and I think that's the point, isn't it? It's to gross you out.
I really don't want people to think that I'm being sort of too manly here when I'm saying this, but
I mean, I was getting squeamish, so yeah, it is.
It's not a bad thing that they've done it.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not good with birth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's my fault, not the show's fault. The
thing is, I get sympathy pains, which isn't very nice. Do you see someone get kicked in the knackers and you go, oh, you feel like the sympathy pains?
No.
I'm like that when I see birth and stuff. I'm like, oh.
I don't get sympathy pains for people getting kicked in the knackers.
Yeah. No.
Wow. Yeah. I'm far too squeamish when it comes to that.
That was It comes from
a place of empathy, by the way, because it's me sitting there going, that poor woman has to go through that. It's not me going, oh my word, you know.
To be fair though, I will say that birthing in particular, that's what I mean though. I don't think I'm trying to think in my immediate memory of a birthing scene more. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, you actually saw
visceral.
Like you saw the head and that dropped. It was very like.
I couldn't watch.
I don't think I've ever seen a birthing quite like it on a show or on a movie that I can remember.
Of course, Game of Thrones is breaking new ground again. It always does.
But it takes you back to Emma and getting the C-section, and I thought that was really like.
And Lena, and even Rhaenyra's birth not Rhaenyra's birth, sorry, Joffrey's birth, yeah, when like.
You didn't see any of that
after
though.
birth, they were talking about after, and the noise that was made, and it was like, right, let's stop talking about birth. Yeah. Did I do the outro? I think we just spent another 10 minutes talking after I did the outro. Anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you soon. House of the Dragon.
It's gonna be so far away. It's gonna be like 2024 or something. It probably is.
I need to know.